Ito ang latest update sa kaso ng missing sa Bungeros na mahigit 4 na taon na ring pinaghahanap. Sa wakas muli na namang binuksan at iniimbestigahan na ng Kamara sa pamamagitan ng mga magigiting na kongresista upang mabigyang linaw na at hustisya ang malagim na sinapit ng mga nawawalang sa Bungero. Sa kanila kasing pag-iimbestiga, ito ang kanilang matinding natuklasan at mga revelasyon na nagsilitawan. Narito ang buong detalye. Panuurin, pakinggang mabuti at kayo na ang bahalang humusga. Ngunit bago tayo magpatuloy, huwag kalimutang i-like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more updates and for more upcoming videos. Maraming salamat!
Unang-una, gusto ko lang po malaman, ito pong 52,847 sites, yan po yung mga illegal?
Opo.
Mga illegal po lahat yan.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
So, ibig sabihin yan, mas marami pa yung illegal sa legal?
Mr. Chair, yes po.
My goodness. Ang inyo nang naibaksak nyo, at ito ba yung nasara na? 43,984. Ito na yung nakasara na.
Opo, Mr. Chair. Kapag ito po, Mr. Chair, ay mula po 2023 hanggang sa kasulukuyan po. Kapag po ini-endorso sa DICT, sa CICC, at sa NTC po, ng PAGCOR at ng PNP, agad naman pong inaaksyonan, Mr. Chair.
Alam nyo, alam nyo rin po ba kung ilan ang legal? Inyo ba namomonitor kung ilan po ang legal na isabong?
Mr. Chair, dahil isabong po, bawal na po lahat sila, so illegal na pong lahat. Opo,
Bawal na lahat, di ba?
Bawal na po lahat, Mr. Chair.
Oo, okay. So wala nang legal.
Wala na po.
Teka, mamaya, atanungin natin yung PAGCOR, di ba? Pinakailan, nandun yung PAGCOR dyan eh. Pero mamaya na yan. Di ba? Kaya ito munang DICT. Maganda na lang ng PAGCOR sa mga tatanong namin mamaya, ha? Okay. So, ibig sabihin yan, lahat, pati yung mga inalaw ng PAGCOR, papasaran nyo.
Naisabong po, Mr. Chair.
Oo.
Opo.
So, ba't hindi nyo na ipasara lahat? Bakit 43,984 lang?
Mr. Chair, ito pong actually po, 52,847 ang total, Mr. Chair. Mula 2023 po hanggang 2025. Ito po yung kabuang bilang na ini-endorso sa DICT po, ng PAGCOR at ng PNP. Ito po yung
Ini-endorse po sila ng PNP at PAGCOR.
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Okay. O mga kasamahan, sinong unang magtatanong? Si Congressman Romulo, you go ahead.
Yes.
Recognize.
Maraming salamat, Chair Abante. Kay Director Navarro, para maliwanag lang tayo, no? So, nung nadeklara na bawal na ang isabong, wala nang legal.
Wala na po, Mr.
Wala nang legal. Sinabi mo kanina, nakapagsara na kayo ng mga 52,000 sites.
Opo.
Until today yon or no 2023, 2024?
Until today po, Mr.
Until today. Simula na nagsasara kayo ng 2022. Pag nagsasara kayo, may lumalabas pang bago?
Opo.
How quickly ba? Ganong kabilis sila nakakabukas ng bagong site?
Batay po sa aming director na sa operations, segundo lang po, Mr. Chair.
Segundo, nakakapagtayo sila.
Opo.
Ilan naman, ganong katagal o ganong kabilis naman na natatrack ninyo na mayroong natayong bago?
Segundo rin.
With the permission of the Chair, I'm Director Josilius po. I'm with the Cybercrime Investigation Office po ng CICC. Namomonitor din naman po natin po agad. However, yung problema po natin is for us to monitor, dapat pumasok po talaga tayo doon sa kanilang mga websites. Makikisali po talaga tayo sa laro nila in order for us to know na it exists. Katulad ho ni Director Alvin na hindi naman talaga po sumusugal, medyo yun po ang kahirapan po natin. But we have people on the ground na talaga pong sumasali for us to be
Yes, that
monitoring
is the
this
question
thing.
po Director Rojun. Ganong kabilis nyo natatrack? Mabilis sabi nyo, di ba? Wala naman nakakalusot na more than 1 day or more than 12 hours or more than 2 hours?
Yes po, namomonitor naman po natin.
Agad-agad?
Opo, kasi
So napapa-take down nyo agad-agad?
Ayun lang po kasi we have to verify naman po kung
What do you have to verify? Eh, bawal na eh.
Yung during the time po, kung nung legal pa po siya, we have to verify.
Hindi, we're
that-
talking about today. Kasi
today po,
nakapagpasara na kayo eh.
Opo.
Sabi ninyo, nasara ninyo 52,000, ongoing, mabilis sila makaset up, pero mabilis rin yung natatrack at mabilis yung napapababa. Tama po ba yun?
that's correct po, Mr. Chair.
So theoretically, wala nang nakatayo na online e-sabong, wala na.
Meron pa naman po. Kasi
Oh, bakit?
mabilis po talaga po.
Kaya, pero ang sagot mo rin, mabilis rin yung natatrack eh.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, if I may, yung iba po kasi, ang pangalan nila hindi isabong xxx.po. Minsan, pinapangalanan nila na candy, that's something. So, minsan po, magbabago sila ng pangalan,
Yes.
hindi pa namin alam kung isabong siya. Tapos, biglang may magre-report sa amin. Pag na-report naman po sa amin, mabilis po yon.
Yes. Usually ba yung nangyayari to, nakaka-survive yung isang bagong site nila ng more than 1 or 2 days?
Meron po. May iba nakatago po kasi, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, nakatago sa mga legitimate na example, akala mo nagbebenta siya ng sapatos, for example. Yung pala nakasingit doon, nagsusugal. Kaya ang strategy po namin, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, hinahanap namin yung mga sites na interconnected, na tipo bang alam namin na yung iba kasi dito, Mr. Chair, overseas eh. Kaya ang hirap din habulin eh. So kailangan makipag-usapan kami sa telco na wag nang papasukin. Yung po yung talagang mas matinding sophisticated na blocking. Kasi pag nakapasok na, minsan iba na yung pangalan.
Yes, pero Secretary, ang intindi ko naman ito, I assume meron kayong intelligence fund or confidential fund that wala kayo.
Ang CICC po wala. At saka ang...
So hindi nyo pwedeng malaman kung merong... kasi kung paano nalaman ng iba na ito na pala yung bagong pangalan tapos tayo na sa
Ayan,
gobyerno
ikaw na
ang hindi may alam.
Yung kanina pong sinabi ko po, Mr. Chair, may mga tao po tayong talagang nag-i-engage po dyan. Yung isang hurdle po, sususugan ko lang po yung sinabi ni Secretary. Yung isang naging problema po natin is that kung makikisali po kayo sa isang isabong website, may approval pa po nun eh. May approval pa yun. Minsan tumatagal po. So, hindi tayo na agad-agad makakapasok po sa kanilang grupo
Yes.
dahil ina-approve pa rin po nila.
Oo.
Yun ang isang hurdle din ho natin. And tama po si Secretary na minsan, hindi talaga siya related sa isabong ang title ng kanilang mga websites because these are
Yes.
closed groups po, Mr. Chair. Eh.
Yes.
Hindi po sila na publicly. Now, nakikita niyo po kung i-search niyo po sa Google, hindi na po siya halos makikitang may isabong pa. But these are thriving po on closed groups po. So yung mga players po nila, pag lumipat po sila ng websites, yung mga trusted players po nila, ililipat lang po nila. Now, tayo po sa CICC na parang new kid on the block, hindi po
Yes.
nila agad i-accept. That's
Yes.
part of their security din po.
Pero Director Rojun, basing on what you told, what you just said now, hindi ganong karami. Kasi yung sites nila pre-approved eh. Ang sites nila, yung mga sabi mo nga, yung mga siguro trusted nila. So hindi na umaabot yun nung kasing rami yung participants as it was before.
That is a very correct observation.
Yes, but still, bawal pa rin siya kaya kailangan
Yes,
yung
po.
habulin. Pero hindi na siya masasabing kasing laganap nung panahon na hindi matrack or kaya hindi siya bawal.
That's very correct.
Yes. Maraming salamat, Director.
Maraming
Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Congressman Atyong.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, balikan ko lang po yung presentation ni Director Navarro. But I'm really concerned about, kasi ito yung pinag-uusapan natin is the policing, online policing and monitoring aspect side of the isabong, no? But there's also in charge din ba kayo for the operation for the licenses? Hindi naman, no? The
Hindi
ICT.
po.
So that's why I'm also want to know from PAGCOR. PAGCOR, do we have a representative from PAGCOR here? I'm more concerned ako dun sa licensing eh. But it's given na, di ba, na 100% total, wala na pong isabong ngayon. But prior to the directive, no, and of the President, and I think ang DILG ata nagsabi lately to stop all the isabong, form of isabong. PAGCOR, I presume the presentation of the ICT were just give us the numbers of illegal. But what about those illegal prior to the stopping the directive of the DILG to stop the Isabong? What happened to those operators of Isabong who apparently got a legal certificate?
Magandang hapon po, Mr. Chair and honorable members. Nung May 3 po, 2022, nung nag-declare verbally ang former President Duterte to stop all Isabong, we issued the day after,
Was it the former president?
yes po,
Okay.
former
Okay.
President Duterte po, May 3, 2022. And kinabukasan po, May 4, 2022, we issued guidelines for the suspension of Isabong. So from there po, wala na po talagang canceled na po yung lahat.
But there are also 52,000 sites, no? How did you able to find out and get endorsed all these 52,000 to the ICT?
Yung
Kung lahat, I just want to find out.
we have our own monitoring po and some are reports. Then since we have no enforcement power, we coordinate with
Yeah, I know that.
DICT.
But how did you able to, kasi in-endorse lang ho ninyo, di ba, sa DICT. Is it correct? In-endorse, ang DICT, you don't do preventive check-up, monitoring. You just rely on the endorsement of PAGCOR. Is that correct?
Largely po. Pero ngayon po ay pinalalakas na rin namin, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, yun pong scanning sa pamagitan po nung yung Threat Monitoring Center namin.
So, ibig ko sabihin, yung lahat ng ini-endorse sa inyo, the only way for you to find out if these illegal sites are operating under the pretext of, let's say, selling, pero isabong naman pala yung operation nila, it's those lists that are submitted to you, endorsed to the BI by PAGCOR, right? PAGCOR, how do you still monitor or do you still get and police, for example, all those operators online and then recommend that to the ICT? Do you still have that capacity?
Yes, sir, but it can be fully explained from our security department.
Sino po? Okay. Kasi, Mr. Chair, ang pinesenta po kanina is yung kung ano yung na-endorse. Ibig sabihin, ang pagkaintindi ko po, and correct me if I'm wrong, DICT, yung cybercrime only operates based on the list that are submitted to them by PAGCOR. No? So, ibig sabihin, reactive sila. But what we are trying to do here, Mr. Chair, and I believe this is my understanding of everyone, is that paano natin ma-prevent na hindi na magkaroon ng illegal na operation. So it starts from, I think, from PAGCOR kasi sila naman yung nag-endorse ng list eh. So I'd like to know from PAGCOR if you're capable of handling and monitoring the online kasi gusto ko maintindihan.
Good afternoon, sir. Right now, sir, we have a team which actually handles yung testing of sites endorsed to based on complaints received through our customer feedback management system. So based on this, we try the websites reported, and once we discover that this caters to Isabong, we collate them and endorse them to DICT for blocking and investigation by CICC.
So yes, please continue. So nag-aantay pa po kayo, somebody has to report that to your office?
No, sir. The team also actively search the internet, sir, for possible suspicious sites that contains
Do you also communicate this with telco companies and other wallet platform? Do you have that?
No, sir. We don't
coordination?
directly communicate with the telcos. We go through the DICT through the NTC.
No, I mean
sir.
in terms of yung sinasabi niyo po kasi ang tanong ko, do you still manage to at least monitor kung meron pang presence online.
Yes,
Before
sir.
you endorse that, you still have to have at least a valid reason to endorse that to the ICT. Pangit
Yes, sir.
naman kung mag-endorse kayo lang ng
Yes,
kung
sir.
ano-ano, di ba? So at least you still have valid reasons
Yes, sir.
for you
And-
to be
and-
able to endorse that. So how do you manage nire-report po ba sa inyo? How do you, for example,
Sir, the possible sources are from the complaints and then from our own initiative through the monitoring and enforcement group. And then before it is endorsed to our partner agencies, those in charge of the blocking and investigation of these sites, we have it certified by our e-games licensing department
okay.
to make sure that they are illegal.
But I understand also, Mr. Chair, na yung ginagamit po kasi since they're using online platform, they're also using mga e-wallets platform, di ba? That's how they pay and that's how they place their bets, di ba?
Yes, sir.
So, kayo po sa PAGCOR, do you also initially contact or for example have coordination with all these e-wallet platforms before you endorse it to the ICT?
No, sir.
Wala kayong
Wala,
capacity ng ganon.
For as long as the site has been certified by our e-games
But how do you
licensing
know,
department.
how do you, Mr. Chair, how do you able to know kung isabong ito if you don't have that, for example, you don't investigate, I believe you're part of the investigation if there are bets being made, di ba? That's how initially you would find out na hindi ito usual na e-shopping platform lang kasi isabong. And the only way for you to find out if there are bets being made, di ba? Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
Am I correct? So paano po nyo yun malalaman na ito'y isabong kung walang kayong ganong klaseng pamamaraan na ma-determine na hindi ito nagbebenta lang kasi bets ito eh. Of course, you do that with e-wallet platforms, di ba?
Actually, sir, the monitoring enforcement group, the team in charge of monitoring online suspicious online games attempts to register through the websites to find out short of playings or in the illegal sites. So once they see that it offers actually not just Isabong, all other games, online casino games, this is reported to our e-games licensing department for verification, and then a certification is secured so that this will be the supporting document once we endorse it to the ICT.
For further investigation.
Yes, sir.
And possible-
for blocking, sir.
For blocking
and investigation, sir.
Okay, sige. So
With the
before,
indulgence of Congressman Siano, I think that we should first of all proceed to the briefing. But before that, I'd like the COMSEC to acknowledge again the arrival of some of our colleagues. Please.
Yes, Your Honor. We would
Mr. Chair,
also-
may I interject, Mr. Chair? One question lang.
Yeah, can we hold it in the bench for a while, please? Ito muna eh. Pero habang nagkakaroon tayo dito ng majority, would like to acknowledge first of all of those who are with us today, and then afterwards, magkaroon muna tayo ng suspension, and then afterwards, we're going to pursue the questions again, please. Thank you. Thank you.
yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just got curious lang kasi yung presentation po ng DICT. But anyway, that would be all for now, Mr. Chair. Maybe later on, baka may magtanong pa kung mga kasama natin. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for...
Thank you. Well,
Thank you.
when the questions again, we would like to again start with Congressman Atchong, and then afterwards we're going to have Congressman Arlon to ask questions also. Go ahead, Comsec.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would also like to recognize the presence of Congresswoman Attorney Jerville Jinky Beatrix Luistro, Congressman Presley C. De Jesus, and Congresswoman Leila M. De Lima. And also, as a resource person, Attorney Rex Guevara from the Commission on Human Rights, Region 4A. And, Congressman Terry L. Ridon.
I think you have been given a copy of this, no, to our colleagues. Binigyan po kayo ng kopya ng rules of procedure, no? Distribute na. So we would like to, to make a motion, no, to approve the rules of procedure.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I move to approve the proposed internal rules of the committee.
Second.
There's a motion and seconded that the rules and procedure should be approved. Any objection? None whatsoever. So the motion is approved. Okay. So we can now go ahead with the with the briefing, di ba? Okay. So nauna na ang secretary pero may iwan dito yung dalawang director. So I would like to call again, recognize Congressman Sia Adyong to please pursue with this question.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would yield to the other members who wish to ask questions, Mr. Chair. For the meantime, Mr. Chair, mamaya na lang po, I will allow others to ask questions po, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
We
Chair.
have Congressman Marlon, and then Congressman Suntay, would you please ask a question also? Okay. You'll be next.
Just one question, Mr. Chair, because I have to leave. I have to attend
Go ahead, go ahead.
briefing with the DOH. Sa DICT po tayo. DICT, please. Kanina po kasi sinabi nyo na may 56,000 or so na sites.
52,000.
52,000 sites. So may way po ba kayo na ma-identify yung operator? Kasi pagkakaalam ko, yung 52,000 sites lang yon. So possibly kasi there are only few people who handles with this. So ito siguro ang mas maganda nating ma-identify or ma-locate. Kasi kung ma-identify natin yan, ma-locate natin, pwedeng mawala na sila totally. May way po ba tayo?
Mr. Chair, yun po kasi yun po may sa tingin ko po sa pakikipagtulungan po ng mga law enforcement, katulad po ng PNP, ng DILG, magagawa naman po 'yon. Para lang po maisalagay sa konteksto yung papel na ginagampanan po ng DICT. Ang pangunahin po naming pananagutan, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, pagdating po sa amin nung listahan, i-block na po namin. Sa bahagi naman po ng Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, dahil meron naman po kami mga digital forensics tools at dahil ang primary implementer din po kasi ng batas patungkol dito, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, ay the Philippine National Police at DILG, kami po ay handang tumulong sa kanila patungkol po halimbawa sa further investigation, Mr. Chair, Your Honors.
So kung magkaroon po tayo ng parang task force with different line agencies, mas effective yung gawain para ma-identify yung grupo na yun.
Opo, Mr. Chair, Your Honors.
So that's all, Mr. Chair. And thank you very much to our Vice Chairman for allowing me to interject.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, Congressman Suntay. Are you going to ask questions to the ICT?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Through you, Director Alvin mentioned earlier that there are around 52,000 sites operating illegally, and that what they do is they try to monitor the sites and have them closed. As you mentioned earlier, the way you monitor it is meron kayong mga tao na pinapa-register dun sa site. And marami na kayo na sites na napasara, pero as you mentioned earlier, also, marami rin nagbubukas pagkatapos pasara. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. May pamamaraan din po sila, Mr. Chair, na tangi sa internet, pumapasok na po sila doon sa mga messaging platforms, Mr. Chair. Halimbawa po, TG. Telegram. Tapos magre-recruit na po sila ng mga players. Tapos sarado po yung grupo na yun. Mahirap mapasok unless na meron pong papasok.
Tama, nagaling sa inyo.
Yes.
Now, what's the process? Now, may nakapasok kayong tao. How does coordination work between you, PAGCOR, the PNP? Because it's one thing closing the sites. How many arrests have been made with regards to the operations of online sabong?
Mr. Chair, paumanhin po, subalit yung mga figures po kasi na yun, nasa law enforcement.
Wala ho ba kayong coordination, Director Alvin?
Yun pong hindi na po namin sa ngayon, Mr. Chair, namo-monitor readily. Yun pong apprehension patungkol po doon sa...
Mr. Chair, the reason that I ask is, it's one thing closing the sites. It's another thing stopping the operation. Kagaya kasi ng sinabi nyo, okay, close nyo yung site, magpapalit lang ng, magbubukas lang ng bagong site. Kasi kung hindi hinuhuli yung operator, talagang palipat-lipat lang ng site yan. So kailangan may arrest. That's why, yun yung pinaka-importante. Are arrests being made? And I'm just curious, Mr. Chair, bakit walang data with regards to arrests being made? Because that's the most important thing that we should have. It's the arrests.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
if I may.
Director Rosilio.
Mr. Chair, I think yung isang naging problema po talaga natin is the very nature of internet. Yung mga gumagawa po ng mga online illegal...
The very nature of the internet.
Yes po.
Ba? Sige, ano yun?
Internet offers anonymity to users. So yung mga criminal ho natin are using these technologies. May virtual private network po sila. Meron po silang anonymity tools para hindi naman po sila makikilala. And most of these online sabong platforms are actually hosted outside of the Philippines. Pagkatapos yung hosting pa po, meron ding anonymity po yun. So kung sakaling nandun ka sa GoDaddy, ang GoDaddy hindi naman po, if you are hosted under GoDaddy, hindi naman siya palaging nagko-cooperate sa law enforcement po.
Okay, with the indulgence of some tayo, no? Hindi pa naman kayo aalis, di ba?
Yes po.
Mamaya pa kayo, si Secretary Aguda lang.
Opo.
All right, now can we just listen first of all to the presentation of the resource speakers here, and afterwards we're going to ask questions to them. Pwede?
Mr. Chair, can you go back to me after the presentation?
Yes,
So that I
I'll
could
go back to
continue?
you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
So, Comsec, will you please call on now on the others resource speakers here, so they could be able to present their statement. Go ahead, Comsec.
Yes, so, Your Honor, may we request the representative from Department of Justice, Assistant Secretary Eliseo Cruz. Thank you, sir.
To the committee chairperson, Benvenido M. Abante Jr., honorable members of the House Committee on Human Rights, our colleagues from the other national government agencies, representatives from the Commission on Human Rights, members of the media, and most importantly, the families of the missing Sabongeros who are watching now. Good afternoon. I am Assistant Secretary Eliseo D.C. Cruz of the DOJ Law Enforcement Cluster, respectfully appearing before you on behalf of the Department of Justice. The disappearances of the missing Sabongeros shall never be put in vain, for they are fathers, sons, brothers, and friends whose absence has left enduring pain. To the families of missing Sabongeros who are watching now, the Department of Justice hears you, and we are committed to our sacred duty in pursuing truth, accountability, and justice, guided at all times by the Constitution and our human rights obligation. It bears stressing that the disappearance of the missing Sabongeros is not a mere series of heinous crimes perpetrated by several influential individuals. It is indeed a direct attack not only on the life liberty, and security of the victims and their loved ones, but also to the peace and order atmosphere of our country, and an insult to our criminal justice system and to the entire Filipino people and our future generations. Thus, as an undertaking for the entire nation, we will not hesitate. We will defy any sphere of influence who would try to bring our efforts down. No matter what obstacles we may come across, we will remain relentless in our crusade toward seeking the truth and delivering justice to whom it is due. The DOJ, through the National Prosecution Service, in close coordination with the Philippine Coast Guard, the National Bureau of Investigation, and the Philippine National Police, will remain steadfast in spearheading the investigation and case build-up process of this case until these brutal criminals be placed behind bars and be held accountable for what they did. At this point, I hereby respectfully present the summary of the pertinent information regarding the ongoing case build-up on the case of the missing Sabongeros. On July 10, 2025, the DOJ, together with the elements of the Philippine Coast Guard and the Philippine National Police, launched the initial assessment of the Taal Lake, particularly in Laurel, Batangas. Noteworthy to mention that this operation was prompted by the information disclosed by our whistleblower, Mr. Julie Patidongan, about the exact location on the lake where the alleged bodies of the missing Sabongeros were dumped or disposed of. On July 11, 2025, the full-blown search and retrieval operation was then commenced within the particular area of the lake, which was then divided into 4 quadrants by the Philippine Coast Guard. From July 10, 2025, up to present, based on the records of the PNP Forensic Group, there are 401 pieces of human skeletal remains have been recovered from 17 different locations reported by the Philippine Coast Guard. The recovered sacks or mesh nets containing the human skeletal remains are usually tied to or attached to 2 sacks containing sand that serve as sinkers. Each sinker sandbag is of the size of a 25-kilogram rice sack. To preserve the integrity and evidentiary value of all sacks recovered from the bottom of the lake, upon return to the water surface, the technical divers of the Philippine Coast Guard directly handed over the recovered sacks containing the pieces of evidence to the PNP Forensic Group SOCO personnel, who immediately placed this evidence inside a blue bag to preserve it and observe the proper handling and chain of custody. Other than this, the team likewise recorded the date, time, the coordinates of the location where each sack containing the pieces of evidence were recovered, including the actual depth, the temperature, and its distance from the nearest shoreline. The team comprised of the Philippine Coast Guard and the Philippine National Police Forensic Group SOCO is continuing its relentless search and retrieval operations despite the challenges they are facing. During our previous briefing, they reported that their technical divers are already suffering from medical conditions, that is, skin irritation, ear infection, diarrhea, coughs, and colds, due to the long-term exposure to the murky waters of the Taal Lake. Noteworthy to mention that our PCG personnel are also facing threat from the venomous taal water snake, which our country has no anti-venom for, according to the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. Other than this, to support the continuous search and retrieval operation and the forensic examination of the pieces of evidence gathered, the DOJ is currently in talks with the Japanese government, which generously offered their support to this ongoing operation. On the status of cases filed before the DOJ, in relation to this case, complaints were already filed before the DOJ involving the following charges filed by the CIDG. Number 1, the Republic Act, violation of Republic Act 10353, or an act defining and penalizing enforced or involuntary disappearance. Second is the Article 267 of the Revised Penal Code, the multiple counts of kidnapping and serious illegal detention. Third, violation of Article 248 of the Revised Penal Code, the multiple counts of murder. Fourth is the PD 1829, obstruction of justice. The Republic Act 3019, Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act in relation to Article 210 of the Revised Penal Code. Then the Republic Act 11983, the New Philippine Passport Act, and the violation of Article 212 of the Revised Penal Code, the corruption of public officials. To note, these complaints have undergone evaluation and have been certified to be sufficient for the purposes of the conduct of preliminary investigation. That is my presentation, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Comsec, will you please call the other source speakers?
Yes, sir. For the Commission on Human Rights, may we call on Attorney Jasmine Navarro Regino.
Magandang umaga po, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, colleagues, and resource persons. I am Jasmine Navarro Regino, Director for the Protection Office of CHR Central Office. On the part of the Commission on Human Rights, we actually conducted a motu proprio investigation, meaning to say there was no complaint. We just monitored in the media that there were actually 34 missing sabongeros. So on our part, we conducted investigation because we find that there's already a human rights dimension in the disappearance of these 34 sabongeros. So there were actually 4 offices in the commission which conducted investigation. Our regional office 3, Region 4A, NCR, and that of the investigation office of CHR Central Office. We likewise conducted dialogues with the families of the victims. We also granted financial assistance because this is actually one of the programs of the Commission on Human Rights. But with regard to the others who are still awaiting submission of the necessary documents as far as the claim for financial assistance is concerned. And during the Senate inquiry, we actually facilitated the Committee on Public Order under Senator Bato requested the Commission on Human Rights to facilitate the attendance of some of the witnesses in that inquiry. So Region 4A assisted these witnesses to attend the Senate inquiry. And also, we docketed these cases. There were actually 34 victims. And in the grant of our financial assistance, we find that we are actually human rights based. So we find that there is an arbitrary deprivation of liberty on the part of these missing sabongeros. So we are still awaiting the actions done by concerned government agencies because in our final investigation report in 2022, we already closed and terminated all this investigation. Why? Because there were no leads as far as the perpetrators of this abduction, and we reopened these cases because of the new development, the new whistleblower So we are monitoring, and we are actually happy that we are privileged really that we attended this inquiry, because we will now be apprised of what really is happening, or what are the updates as far as these cases are concerned, because it is actually our constitutional mandate to monitor what other government agencies are doing. And in closing, the Commission on Human Rights urges that protection be extended to the witnesses and to the victims' families to ensure their safety and enable them to share information freely and truthfully. CHR also hopes that more individuals with relevant knowledge will come forward. The Commission stands resolute in seeking justice for the missing Sabongeros. With renewed momentum and sustained collective action, the Commission is hopeful that the path to justice for the missing Sabongeros and their families is finally within reach. Thank you, Your Honors.
Thank you. Comsec, go ahead. Yes, Congressman Pimentel.
Yes, in consonance with the request of Ma'am Attorney Regino to protect the witnesses, I am with him, but I would like to ask the DOJ, because I am very concerned with the whistleblower Don Patindugan. Kay kapartido ko yan, ako tumakbo sa amin yan na mayor, kaya lang natalo. I would like to ask bakit napakatagal naman pag-accept nyo sa Witness Protection Program? Siya ang nagsimula niyan, delikado na ang buhay niya. Bakit hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin na-accept sa Witness Protection Program? Naghihintay ba kayo na mamatay pa yan? Wala na tayong testigos. Na alam mo naman yung kalaban na inaano natin, talagang sobra-sobra ang yaman na lahat ang gagawin. In fact, noon pa yan, pinapapatay na. Noon, 50 million. Ngayon, 100 million na. Tawag ko nga sa kanya, si John Wick. Kasi kahit saan, open contract. Yun lang yung tanong ko, kung hanggang kailan yung ma-acceptar yan na para maproteksyon na talaga ng todo-todo.
With the indulgence of Congressman Pimentel, sige po, mamaya, sasagutin niyo yan. We'll just finish the statements of the other source speakers, Pimentel.
Okay ba?
Please,
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. From the Department of Interior and Local Government, may we call on ASEC Chuabili P. Racho. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair, allow us to read the preliminary statement on the hearing of the House of Representatives Committee on Human Rights of the Department of the Interior and Local Government. Mr. Chair, honorable members of the Committee on Human Rights, colleagues from different government agencies and guests, this representation expresses its full support in conducting this public hearing with regard to the alleged killings of missing Sabongeros. The department will not tolerate this kind of criminal act and will ensure that there will be no sacred cows. As stressed out by Honorable Secretary of the DILG, no government officials will be spared from criminal liability in the case of the abduction of cockfighting aficionados. The DILG, together with the NAPOLCOM, PNP, and other government agencies will continue to work hand in hand to investigate all angles in the case of the missing Sabongeros and will file appropriate administrative and or criminal cases to those involved in order to put this matter to rest. As to the state of Isabong operations in the country, the DILG in Memorandum Circular Number 2023-030 dated February 12, 2023 continued the suspension of Isabong operations, including all auxiliary Isabong operations and off-cockpit station operations nationwide. Correspondingly, we will closely coordinate with the other national government agencies, such as the PNP and all LGUs, to obtain vital information and substantial pieces of evidence that would enable us to ascertain the truth in the state of Isabong in the country. A copy of the department's detailed position paper will be submitted to the Honorable Committee. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Comsec, go ahead.
Yes, sir. From the PNP Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, Police Brigadier General Christopher Abrahano, sir.
To the Honorable Chairman of the House Committee on Human Rights, Representative Bienvenido Abante, to the distinguished members of the committee, and to our fellow resource persons present in today's hearing, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. I am Police Brigadier General Christopher Abrahano. On behalf of the Philippine National Police, I appear before this honorable committee in my capacity as Director of the CIDG. The CIDG serves as the primary investigative arm of the PNP, mandated to pursue serious and organized crimes and to ensure that the rule of law is upheld with full respect for human rights. We recognize the importance of today's hearings, which concerns the reported cases of alleged killings involving the so-called missing Sabongeros. The CIDG has been at the forefront of these investigations, fully cognizant of the gravity of the matter and the urgent call for justice by the victims, families, and the Filipino people. In the pursuit of truth, the CIDG has exerted extensive effort to gather evidence, identify persons of interest, and reconstruct the circumstances surrounding the disappearances. These investigative actions have been carried out in close coordination with the Department of Justice, particularly the National Prosecution Service, to ensure that the evidence we obtained is translated into prosecutorial action and ultimately accountability before the courts of law. On August 1, 2025, the CIDG has submitted to the DOJ for evaluation and eventual preliminary investigation the cases against 62 respondents. These possible cases are multiple murder, kidnapping, obstruction of justice, and enforced disappearances. As the Director of the CIDG, I reaffirm our unwavering commitment to pursue every lead, exhaust all legal remedies, and extend full cooperation with this honorable committee. We remain steadfast in our mission to enforce the law, protect our citizens, and uphold justice, not only as a matter of mandate, but also as a solemn duty to the families of the victims and to our nation. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Comsec. We would like to recognize the arrival of other members of the committee. Will you please recognize that, Comsec, please?
Yes, Your Honor. May we also recognize Congresswoman Renee Louise M. Co. Congressman Antonino B. Roman III, our Vice Chairperson, and Congressman Terry Redon. Also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of Attorney Rafael Vicente Calinisan from the National Police Commission.
All right. Can you now please call the next resource speaker, Comsec?
Our next resource speaker is Police Colonel Richmond Tadina from the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group.
Yes, to our to the Honorable Chairman and to all attendees in this meeting, good afternoon. So on the part po of the PNP ACG, we have our way of identifying websites related to Isabong. We have dedicated personnel who conducts patrolling. Similar to the traditional patrolling, we patrol the cyberspace from the ACG headquarters down to our regional anti-cybercrime units. So we have 18 offices that cyber patrols on a daily basis. So from the issuance of the executive order continuing the suspension of Isabong. We have identified at least more than 7,000 websites that are involved in the illegal activity, and we were able to request to NTC for the blocking of 7,275 websites. Similarly, the PAGCOR also refer online sabong websites for investigative assistance and request for blocking to NTC, sir. So, similar to what the DICT have said, that we are facing challenges. These are the use of virtual private network. So there are anonymity tools that ito po yung identities of the owners, kaya po tayo walang nahuhuli dahil through VPN it encrypts internet traffic to protect online identity and data from third parties. So there are domain and subdomains wherein host from other countries, sir, ay hindi natin ma-detect dito sa Pilipinas. And among the challenges we are facing right now is at present the existing laws has no penal provisions on live streaming or broadcast of live cockfights on the conduct of cockpit wig betting. And Isabong is not penalized in countries where web hosting services are located. We host like GoDaddy, Amazon, and Cloudflare operates outside the country and are beyond the regulatory framework of the NTC and jurisdiction of our Philippine courts. We are also facing difficulty in investigating Isabong websites that use internet tunneling services like Cloudflare. Isabong websites can easily activate kahit na-block na ito, but they use alternative or backup websites after blocking of NTC. And advanced users can still access NTC block websites through domain name system configuration. So nag-iiba lang po iniiba lang nila yung pangalan. And itong mga users can still access kahit block na po to kasi hindi pa naman po siya talaga totally nawawala or na-delete. Yun lang po.
Okay. Next. Next.
From the National Police Commission, Attorney Rafael Vicente Calinisan.
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chair. Apologies for being late. We just came from another congressional hearing. We just wanted to say that we will cooperate fully with the commission, with the committee, sir, and the House of Representatives. We are at your disposal po, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
From the Philippine Coast Guard, Commodore Jeronimo B. Tovilla.
To the chairman, members of this committee, mga kasama, magandang hapon po sa atin lahat. I'm Commodore Jeronimo Bautista Tovilla. I'm the commander of Coast Guard District Southern Tagalog. The Philippine Coast Guard role in this operation is tasked primarily with conducting technical diving and underwater search operations in Taal Lake. This involves the deployment of technical certified technical divers, sonar operators, and surface support units who will be responsible for locating and, where possible, recovering bodies, remains, or materials that will be evidence that may have been disposed of in the Taal Lake. In addition, the PCG is expected to support law enforcement agencies by ensuring that any recovered evidence is handled in a manner consistent with legal chain of custody procedures. Equally important is the PCG's responsibility to guarantee the safety of operators within Taal Lake, securing both the divers and the surrounding operational area. This mission also carries a humanitarian dimension as the PCG will assist in the dignified recovery and turnover of human remains to provide closure to the families of the missing Sabongeros. The Philippine Coast Guard takes the position that it fully supports the DOJ's requests and stands firmly behind the directive of our Commandant, Admiral Ronnie Gaban. The organization affirms its readiness to mobilize its technical divers, maritime experts, and specialized equipment in aid of the ongoing investigation. This stance reflects the PCG's commitment to fulfilling its mandate under Republic Act 9993, its duty to support the rule of law, and its humanitarian obligation to assist victims' families. To uphold public confidence in the government's capability to act decisively in matters of national concern, the organization recognizes that its expertise is uniquely suited to this task and views its involvement as both as a legal duty and moral responsibility. Nevertheless, there are operational considerations and challenges, as what was mentioned, that must be acknowledged to ensure the safety and success of this mission. Environmental hazards in Taal Lake takes significant risk to divers. Based on the water quality monitoring conducted on 23 July 2025, the lake exhibits fecal coliform levels of 4,900 mpn per 100 liter arsenic levels, which is high alkalinity ranging from pH of 8.702, all exceeding the DENR standards for safe water use. Prolonged exposure to such conditions greatly increases the likelihood for our divers contracting respiratory, gastrointestinal, and skin-related illnesses. Compounding this risk is the presence of the venomous aquatic life, particularly the duhol matapang or the Taal sea snake, whose venom possesses a severe threat to human life. Aside from the medical training provided to PCG personnel by CGD-STL Medical Station and Batangas Medical Center Toxicology Unit, it is stressed that no antivenom for this species is currently available in the Philippines, leaving our divers acutely vulnerable in the event of a bite. From a logistical standpoint, the PCG faces constraints in the availability of advanced equipments, such as the remotely operated vehicle, high-resolution sonar system, and specialized underwater forensic tools. Despite these challenges, the importance of PCG's participation remains paramount. From our humanitarian standpoint, the organization's involvement provides a means of closure for the grieving families. From a law enforcement perspective, its technical capabilities enhance the DOJ's ability and the PNP to gather admissible evidence and pursue justice. On a national scale, the resolution of this case will help restore public trust in the rule of law and strengthen confidence in state institutions. The Philippine Coast Guard's unique technical expertise in diving and maritime operations is unmatched by any other government agency right now, making its role indispensable in the investigation. In conclusion, the Philippine Coast Guard is faithful in adherence to RA 9993, the formal request of the Secretary of Justice, and the directive of the Commandant reiterates its unwavering commitment to the ongoing search and investigation of the missing Sabongeros. At present, sir, we are now on our 50th day of sustained underwater operations. Through the deployment of our technical diving teams, maritime safety experts, the PCG stands prepared to contribute meaningfully to the pursuit of justice and truth. This operation underscores our organization's role as the nation's reliable guardian of maritime safety and security, as well as a trusted partner in interagency cooperation. The PCG remains steadfast in its duty to serve the Filipino people, support the rule of law, and uphold the values of justice, compassion, and accountability. Maraming salamat po, sir.
Thank you, Comsec.
And finally, from the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, Attorney Alia Comagul.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and honorable members of this committee. The Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation respectfully affirms that all forms of e-sabong have already been banned nationwide. In May 2022, former President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the immediate termination of e-sabong operations, a directive which PAGCOR fully implemented by revoking licenses and suspending all related activities. This ban was later sustained under Executive Order Number 9 issued by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in December 2022. PAGCOR no longer licenses nor regulates e-sabong. Our current role is limited to assisting enforcement agencies such as the PNP, NBI, CICC, and NTC in identifying and blocking illegal platforms that persist despite the prohibition. We are deeply mindful of the reports on the missing sabongeros. While such criminal acts fall outside PAGCOR's regulatory authority, PAGCOR stand committed to supporting ongoing investigation and to ensuring that no gambling activity under government authority undermines public safety, human rights, and the welfare of our people. Thank you.
All right. If you may please submit your statements to this committee. Okay. Now we'll continue on with the questions of our colleagues here. We'd like to start with Congressman Suntay, and afterwards we would like our DOJ to answer the question of Congressman Pimentel. Very good.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. To continue my line of questioning earlier, how is coordination made between the ICT, PAGCOR, and the PNP with regards to the proliferation of the online sabong? Kagaya ng sinabi kanina ng DICT, I understand na of course mahirap i-trace. Kailangan meron tayong mga agents which are registered online who place also para malaman natin if the site is operational or not. But once malaman natin na operational yung site, siyempre yung agent nyo na pumasok sa site, di naman nagpapakilala yan eh. They will always be on that particular site. So kung magpalit man yan ng ibang site, dapat kasama pa rin yung pinasok nyong ahente. Pwede na lang kung di siya pumupusta, nanonood lang siya. So tatanggalin siya. I would assume na ang mga nililipat nila would be bettors ng site nila at hindi yung mga nanonood lang. So, paano ba yung sistema nyo?
Your Honor and the Honorable Chair, tama po kayo na dapat po talaga ay malakas po kayong pumusta in order na maisali po kayo doon sa bagong grupo. However, as to the CICC po, wala po tayong confidential fund. So yung betting po namin sa mga online sabong platforms na makikita po namin are very minimal. So kung meron pong changes, nagre-register pa po yung mga tao natin.
So hindi kayo nakakasunod sa paglipat?
Hindi ho eh. Hindi naman po tayo malakas magtaya po.
Okay. Now, assuming meron kayong mga sites na okay, na verified na which is operating, how do you what do you do next? Okay, sinasaran nyo lang yung site or do you coordinate with PNP so that arrests could be made with regards to yung operator?
Yes, Your Honor. There is a very active collaboration between us and the law enforcement. However, yun nga po yung sinabi rin po ng ating mga partners from the PNP. There is this anonymity over the web po eh, sa online. So, hindi naman po natin na-identify yung mga operators po talaga nito. And most of those websites po are actually hosted outside of the Philippines. In fact po, nagdududa nga ho kami na yung mga sabong na yan po are not actually live or are performed in the Philippines po.
Okay, so then the best course of action would be, yun nga yung ginawa, yung delinking these sites from any e-wallet so that the bettors will not be able to pay online.
That's correct po, Your Honor, and to the Honorable Chair.
So with regards to yung delinking, may I ask, PAGCOR, ano na yung nangyari in DICT? Have you coordinated with the e-wallet providers like Paymaya, GCash, and everyone else?
Most of these po naman are actually the link. Wala na ho tayong mga payment platforms na talagang nag-involve sa isabong po. The problem lang po is that these transactions of sabongeros, online sabongeros, are actually po individuals. Yung pagbibet po nila are on individual accounts sa mga payment platforms po natin. Yung pagbayad din po sa kanila, if meron, kasi marami rin po dito scam lang ho eh. So these are individual accounts po. Like sabihin na po natin, kung sa GCash man po yan, that is peer-to-peer na po na transaction at hindi naman po pinapayagan ni GCash na meron talagang isabong platform po doon sa kanilang payment platform po.
Yeah. Oh, but for these online sites to be able to earn money, kailangan nyo nagbabayad. Like what you said, it's peer-to-peer, individual to individual. I can only have so much, I can only be allowed so much payments na ibibigay ko. So kung merong 1,000 better dyan, eh kung peer-to-peer, kaya sinasabi mo, kailangan kung nanalo sila, babayaran ko yung 1,000 na yon. Is that allowed by the e-wallet platforms?
Actually po, fortunately, yung itong mga isabong websites po, hindi na ganun karami din po ang kanilang mga clientele. Ilan-ilan na rin ho lang talaga na mga sabongero ang nag-engage po doon because napansin na rin ho ng mga nag-engage po sa isabong na marami po sa mga websites na ito are actually scams. And sometimes po yung mga games po doon, yung mga sabong po doon are actually replays. Kaya yung trust po ng betting public on isabong po ngayon is actually lower than previously po.
So when you say na konti na lang yung bettors at bumababa yung betting, how do we verify this? How did we get that data na konti na lang ang pumupusta?
Yun po, kasi nakikita naman ho natin pag nakapasok na po tayo sa group, kung ilan ang mga manlalaro po dyan. So, minsan po, less than 100. Minsan, just over 100.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kong Suntay.